Good day, everyone, and welcome back to Practical Poultry Farming by Steed Global Farms. Today, we are discussing something many people underestimate: land and location. Before we go into structures, cages, or birds, we must understand something very important. Farming is no longer a retirement activity. There was a time people were shy to say, "I am a farmer," but that time is over. According to the Food and Agricultural Organization, global food demand is expected to increase by more than 50% by 2050. Nigeria alone has a population of over 200 million people, and that number is growing. As population increases, food demand increases, especially demand for affordable protein like eggs. So, let us be clear. Food is not optional. It is essential. Serious farmers today are not retiring. They are building wealth. Now, before birds, before feed, before housing, we must answer one major question. Where will the farm be located? Because land and location determine long-term success or failure. There is a Nigerian proverb that says, "The farmer who waits for perfect weather will never plant." What does that mean? It means progress does not wait for perfection. Success in farming and in life begins with action, planning, and courage. So now, let's start planning. What are land requirements? Contrary to what many believe, poultry farming does not require expensive land in luxury areas. You do not need prestige land. You need suitable land. A small-scale farm can begin on half plot to one plot, roughly 300 to 600 square meters. But that only works if there is proper planning. The land must allow space for a poultry house, a manure disposal area, a water source, either borehole or storage tanks, access road, future expansion, and proper setback from neighbors. According to standard poultry housing guidelines and veterinary extension principles, your layout must ensure adequate ventilation, a biosecurity perimeter, safe waste management, controlled access to prevent disease spread. Egg production is a system. If land planning is poor, you will experience continuous operational problems. Because land can be expensive, especially in urban areas, many farmers start by renting. And there is nothing wrong with renting. In fact, it can be strategic. Let us examine the advantages. Renting a poultry farm in Nigeria. 1. Low initial capital requirement. Buying land and constructing poultry houses is capital intensive. Renting allows you to focus your money on quality chicks, good feed, vaccination, staff wages, daily operations. Reducing fixed assets at early stage reduces risk. 2. Test the waters approach. Poultry farming is a biological business. Mistakes can happen. Renting allows you to understand feed cost fluctuations, experience egg market price changes, learn management practically. You gain experience before committing to permanent structures. 3. Ready-made infrastructure. Some rented farms already have pens, cages, borehole water, electricity connection, feeders and drinkers. Sometimes staff quarters. This allows immediate startup. However, you must inspect carefully. 4. Lower exit risk. If the business fails, it is easier to end a lease than to sell developed land. Renting limits long-term financial exposure. 5. Flexibility. If market conditions change, if disease affects the area, if your business expands faster than expected,
you can relocate. Flexibility is powerful in business.
We must note that every pro has a con or disadvantage. Important warning before renting. Always investigate why the farm is empty. Never assume it is just coincidence. Possible reasons include previous disease outbreak, poor water quality, flooding, community conflict, structural defects. Pathogens like Newcastle disease virus, infectious bursal disease, and coccidiosis parasites can survive in contaminated housing. Veterinary guidelines recommend proper disinfection and fallowing before restocking. Biosecurity is non-negotiable.
Now, what are the disadvantages of renting? Despite advantages, renting has risks, and these risks include 1. Tenancy insecurity. Landlords may sell the property, refuse renewal, increase rent significantly. Sudden relocation causes stress. Stress reduces egg production, it increases mortality. Layers are highly stress-sensitive birds. Egg production cycles can last up to 72 weeks. Short leases disrupt long-term planning. 2. Structural limitations. You may not be allowed to construct new housing, improve ventilation, drill deep borehole, or expand structures. Poor ventilation increases ammonia accumulation. Ammonia damages the respiratory system and reduces egg output. The World Organization for Animal Health highlights welfare and ventilation as key productivity drivers.
3. Financial limitations. Money spent improving rented property does not build your equity. Banks often require certificate of occupancy for loans. Without land ownership, access to finance becomes difficult. 4. Environmental and infrastructure risks. Some rented farms lack proper drainage, waste management structure, reliable electricity, or clean water. Poor waste disposal can violate environmental regulations enforced by NESREA. Environmental conflict can shut down operations. Now, let us look at buying land and its legal process. If you decide to buy land, due diligence is compulsory. Because land transactions in Nigeria are governed by the Land Use Act of 1978. All land is vested in the governor and proper documentation is mandatory. So, you must 1. Engage a qualified solicitor, conduct physical inspection, verify title documents at land registry, check for certificate of occupancy, gazette, excision, survey plan. 2. Execute deed of assignment, obtain governor's consent, register title properly, pay stamp duties and required taxes. Failure to complete these steps can invalidate ownership.
We must also understand the process of choosing the right location. Land alone is not enough. Location determines operational efficiency. Away from dense residential areas to avoid odor complaints, noise complaints, disease concerns, and community disputes. Some states require livestock setback distances. Good road access. Egg production requires daily logistics. Feed must enter, eggs must leave, veterinary officers must access. Poor road increases cost and breakage. Clean water availability. Each layer consumes approximately 200 to 250 milliliters daily. Water must be clean and safe. Contaminated water spreads Salmonella and E. coli. No clean water, no production. Proper drainage. Flooding increases disease. It damages litter. It weakens structures. Flood-prone land must be avoided. Once you have acquired your land and confirmed the exact size, the next step is not construction. It is planning. Many farmers make the mistake of rushing to build immediately, but experienced farmers plan before they build. At this stage, you need two key professionals, an architect and a farm consultant. The architect ensures your buildings are structurally sound, cost-effective, and compliant with regulations. The farm consultant, on the other hand, understands poultry operations. They consider workflow, biosecurity, ventilation, drainage, and efficiency. Now, let us talk about something very important: topography. Is the land flat? Does it slope? Where does water flow naturally? What direction does the wind blow? If you ignore these questions, you may face flooding, poor drainage, disease outbreaks, and structural damage. A proper layout plan ensures your poultry houses are positioned correctly for airflow and temperature control. It ensures adequate spacing between buildings to reduce disease transmission. It also creates efficient movement within the farm. Feed trucks must enter easily, eggs must leave easily, workers must move without stress. Your borehole, generator house, feed storage, and waste disposal units must all be strategically positioned. And very importantly, a good layout allows room for future expansion, because growth is the goal. Remember this: random building creates daily problems. Planned building creates daily efficiency. In poultry farming, structure determines success.
Now, quick look at urban versus rural areas. Urban areas give market proximity, but land is expensive. Community pressure is higher. Rural areas provide cheaper land and better biosecurity, but require transport planning and possible borehole investment. Each option requires strategic thinking. Finally, acquiring land is not emotional, it is strategic. Consider your capital, expansion plans, market access, biosecurity, legal compliance, environmental regulations, infrastructure availability. Egg production is a biological system supported by infrastructure. If land and location are wrong, management becomes difficult. If land and location are right, production becomes easier. Foundation determines outcome. Choose wisely. And that brings us to the end of today's session. Remember, in poultry farming, success does not start from the birds. It starts from planning. The land you choose, the layout you design, the structure you build, all determine how profitable and sustainable your farm will become. If this training has helped you see farming differently, then we are achieving our goal. Because modern farming is not guesswork, it is strategy. If you found value in this session, please like this video, share it with someone who is planning to start poultry farming, and drop a comment below. Let us know what stage you are in: planning, building, or already operating. And don't forget to subscribe and turn on your notification bell so you don't miss our next episode, where we go deeper into poultry housing systems and farm layout execution. This is practical poultry training, simplified, strategic, and built for serious farmers. I'll see you in the next session.